22, rushed for 349 yards and 5 touchdowns. Johnny Johnson, number 38, will be the fullback, and he's got a big task. The 5'7", 231-pound junior out of Spring Grove has to replace Cy Brooks, who is just a tremendous blocker and runner for the Huskies in his career here. That is the starting lineup offensively for Bloomsburg University under Danny Hale in his 4th year as head coach. The Huskies coming off a season of 9-1-1. Hale 22-10-1 since he's been at Bloomsburg, and counting his years at Westchester, 84-88. He is 7th among active Division II coaches in winning percentage, 72.7. Andy Lickney with us once again for Bloomsburg University football. And Andy, I think there's always a sense of anticipation. There are always certain expectations when you start a season. But when you made the kind of progression that Bloomsburg has made under this coaching staff, those expectations, I'm sure, are justified.
They're very high, and they are justified. An extremely talented unit for the Huskies, but it all starts today. On paper and in preseason rankings, it's one thing, but you have to do it one game at a time. And one game that has posed problems for them has been their opener. The last 7 years, they have not won their opener. It's a part of the game they need to turn around. It's one more step on the way to a playoff type of season, and it's going to start here this afternoon.
Huskies should be particularly strong this season on the defensive unit. That is where they have most of their starters returning, and we'll get a look at that unit very early as Bloomsburg won the toss but deferred to the second half. So the Huskies will be kicking off, and Wayne State will be moving from our right to our left. The referee for today's game is Herbert Staten. Frank Cosman is the umpire. The linesman is Joseph Greiser. Stephen Marinucci is the line judge. The field judge is Joe Donnelly. Andrew Halfield is the back judge. The game clock, William Petrich, and Lou Romanot at the 25-second clock. Gorgeous, sunshiny afternoon here at Redmond Stadium for the opening game of the 1996 season, a season that is underway as John Imp's line drive kick angles to the far side and is fielded by Dan Galovich, and Galovich down the right sideline is brought down over the 20, maybe the 21-yard line. Stacy Hawk, number 39, among the people getting down there to make the play for the Huskies. So Wayne State will have the football, and they'll be going against a Bloomsburg defensive front that should be very, very strong. Josh Klein, Gary Fittery, Jason Grimm, and Jeremy Grimm across the front. Matt Romano, Frank Babula in the middle, Alec Wiley, the linebackers. The corners, Derek Lynch and Steve Foster. Ben Hennickles, the strong safety. The free safety for this game will be Jay Zoransky. 1st and 10 for Wayne State. They have the football at their own 20-yard line. Backs in an open set behind quarterback Jimmy Hill. Hill gives to the fullback straight ahead, and just a couple. Jason Grimm making the stop. So the first carry of the ball game goes to Earl Reese, and Jason Grimm is coming off a terrific season for the Huskies. First team PSAC pick, 6'1", 264-pound senior out of Northampton, makes the play. A gain of just 2. 2nd down and 8 for the Tartars.
Very short too, Jim. They like to run option, and they showed it there. Split backs, dive the fullback. Watch them coming down the line and continuing at the option in the future of this series.
Slot to the left side. Gillard and Reese are the backs in an open set. Hill over center, fumbles the snap. Scramble is on, and Bloomsburg indicating they have it, but nothing from the officials. And it looks like Wayne State was able to get on the football. They'll lose yardage back to the 20-yard line. Remember, Jimmy Hill, from all reports, an excellent athlete, but he's not played the quarterback position since high school. They'll lose 2, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 for the Tartars.
Love of the position, though, Jim. He felt he could play some quarterback here at Wayne State, beat out the person who seemed to be favored for the job, Mike Lusky, and has that starting opportunity.
Slot to the left, backs in an open set. Hill takes the snap. He's going to roll to his left. He fires it out here for Reese and throws it behind his fullback. Good coverage by Steve Foster and Alec Wiley. So 4th down and a punting situation for the Tartars.
Well, the defense held, of course, but the offense really hurt themselves. Nothing on the first play. Defense smashing things into the middle. A dropped snap and then a little flare pass thrown behind the receiver. So not really a challenge yet for the defense as they set up the punt.
Dean Hatchler, number 14, a freshman from North Hill, Michigan, standing back at his 5-yard line. Derek Lindsey does the long snapping, and Sean Smith hoping to get his first opportunity for return in this season. Snap is there, and the kick is away, and Smith will field at his own 46-yard line, hit hard, breaks away, and then is gang tackled at midfield. Smith really took a hit. John Ayers, number 8, he bounced away, but then good coverage by the Tartars, but Bloomsburg will get the football in great field position at their own 49. They'll go against this defense. Deshaun Franklin, Derek Lindsey, Rob Holmes, and Carl Roseborough across the front. Linebackers are very strong. Ron Atkins, Ken Johnson, and Rodney Simmons. The corners, Tony Hawk and Todd Burgess. Jim Filipiak is the free safety. Nick Burgess, the strong safety. Bloomsburg's first play from scrimmage of the season. I formation. John Johnson is ahead of Irv Sigler. Sigler, the tailback, gets the call off the left side, cuts it outside. 45, 40, inside the 35, and ripped out of bounds near the 33-yard line of Wayne State. So Irv Sigler gets his first carry of the season, makes it a big game. Jim Filipiak, the free safety, made the stop.
Over 20 yards on that. Jim hitting up inside, but a little misdirection, bending to his left as he took it off the right side of the center, picking up the backside, blocking, going down there, and running very well.
18 yards officially for Irv Sigler at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 Huskies. Ron Loco wide to the right side. Sean Smith wide to the left. Again, the I formation. Again, the call to Sigler. This time up the middle, and this time the Tartars close in as he picks up about 3. Ken Johnson makes the stop. Johnson is a good one. 6 foot, 225-pound senior. Number 2 on the team in tackles a year ago. They're marking the ball around the 31, so just 2 yards for Irvin Sigler. 2nd down and 8 for the Huskies.
Strong linebacking core, as you mentioned. Johnson in the middle was number 2 in tackles. He is flanked by number 1 Rodney Simmons and number 3 Ron Atkins. And the backup linebacker who spells him was 4th on the team in tackles last year.
2nd and 8 Huskies. Lolliman is the tight end to the left side. Again, the I formation. McNamee in a long count. Takes the snap, gives the ball straight ahead to fullback John Johnson. And he powers inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Ken Johnson again in on the stop. Johnny Johnson, 5'7", 231, a junior from Spring Grove. Got just 9 carries a year ago playing behind Saheed Brooks. It's about 4 there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 Huskies at the 27 of the Tartars.
He probably has the biggest shoes to fill on the team, Jim. The fullback spot is a feature of this offense. Ran hard there on his initial carry of the season.
On 3rd and 4, Brett Kozlowski is in as the lone running back. Slot to the right side. Randy Davidson wide to the left. 3rd down call. McNamee takes the snap, rolls right, gets a block, fires a pass, has Loco to the 19-yard line for a 1st down. Well, one of the keys to the Huskies' rollout passing is the blocking of the running backs. That time, Brett Kozlowski did his best Saheed Brooks imitation, got a great block, and led to the completion.
Took the feet out from the defensive end. It gave McNamee enough time. He can throw on the run, but he was able to relax. He's been working with Ron Lelko throughout the summer at home in New Jersey. The timing was wonderful.
8 yards on the pickup, 1st and 10 at the 19. Sigler back in the ballgame, gets the call off the left side, slashing inside the 15 down near the 10-yard line. Irv Sigler brought down by Ken Johnson. Sigler, as we mentioned, shared duties with Mike Johnson a year ago. Huskies got some great mileage out of both of them. In fact, Johnson had over 1,000 yards. Sigler was very, very close. And Irvin starting off big here in this ball game. 9 yards on that carry, 2nd and 1. Near the Tartar 10-yard line, fumble by McNamee. He's able to get on it at the 11-yard line.
He didn't quite seem ready for the snap there, Jim, and they don't want to waste a play here inside the red zone. Ziegler would have had 1,000 yards last year, but he got injured early against Cheney in the final game of the season. Came out about 50 yards short of that total. A lot of people felt that he's the more naturally gifted running back with Mike Johnson, but Johnson, being a senior and being the leader, was somewhat of an inspirational point for the team. A great tandem. Now he's going to carry much more of the load.
3rd down and 2 call. Ziegler gets it, tries to sweep the outside, looking for the sticks, and has the 1st down. Ziegler working his way outside left. Rodney Simmons makes the stop from his linebacker position, but it'll be a 1st and goal for the Huskies on their first possession. As we see Randy Davidson entering at the wide receiver, replacing Sean Smith. The ball at the 6-yard line.
They have some height mismatches, Jim. There are some short corners. Tony Hawk only goes 5'7". Randy Davis perhaps matching up on him at 5'4" would be to the advantage of the Huskies on a flare pattern.
1st and goal at the 6. Loco in motion to the right side. I formation. Sigler gets the call, lowers the shoulder off the right, gets inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and goal. Dasheen Franklin, one of the people in on the stop. He's a returning starter from a year ago. 6'3", 270-pound sophomore from Southfield, Michigan.
He is strong at the defensive end, but the Huskies have been pushing this team around. That's the 8th play of a 9-play drive, and they're set up to score.
2nd down and goal inside the 4-yard line. Sigler the call off the left side, hit hard and dropped right at the 4-yard line. Good defensive work. Ken Johnson makes the stop. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and goal for the Huskies. Interesting call coming from the Wayne State 4-yard line.
Yes, it is. The rush has been successful, but however, you're seeing a goal line defense now stacked against the run. Wide side of the field is to the right. Watch for the play trying to use field side.
Davidson wide to the right with that height advantage Andy mentioned. Lelko in motion and rolling right is McNamee. Fires a pass. Lelko, a diving catch for the touchdown. The Phillipsburg connection. Glenn McNamee to Ron Lelko, and the Huskies are on the board first.
McNamee has been raving all summer about the talents of his wide receiver, Ron Lelko, who now will be featured more in the offense. Beautiful timing play. So long as the execution is there, it cannot be stopped. You really can't defend it. Lelko in motion just does a quick little out. He has the inside position. McNamee delivers it low and on the money. It cannot be stopped if executed well.
Now Berwick High School product Tom Boop will attempt his first extra point as a collegian. Wrights does the snapping. Ron Lelko will do the holding. Long count. The snap is there. The placement. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out on the field. 9:29 to go in the first quarter of play with the score. Bloomsburg 7 and Wayne State nothing. Steve, first possession, a 10-play, 51-yard scoring drive, capped on a 4-yard touchdown pass from Glenn McNamee to his high school teammate Ron Lelko. Lelko caught only one scoring pass all of last season. 9:29 remaining still in the first quarter of game number 1, and he has a score. Good diving catch in the end zone. The 7-0 Bloomsburg lead as John Imp will kick off. John Roberts and Dan Galovich awaiting. Huskies looking very impressive in their first drive, particularly on the ground with Irvin Sigler. Imp's kick is very, very high, and Galovich tumbles it back at his 5-yard line. Now Roberts picks it up at the 10. Roberts hemmed in and brought down at the 12-yard line. Good kick by Imp. Good coverage downfield led by Chris Acuff. And Wayne State will take over the football for their second possession at their own 12.
That was a tremendous kick. We haven't seen that much kicking from John Imp in previous years. We had seen him kicking against the wind at Cheney, where he was squibbing it. They got that one nice and high. It wasn't fielded until it's down inside the 5-yard line, high and then bobbled. So great defensive field position for the Huskies on the second drive for Wayne State.
Center Ryan Monroe out over the football at the 12. Reese and Gillert are the backs in an open set behind quarterback Jimmy Hill. It was 3 and out for the Tartars on their first possession. Give to Reese and not much doing. Boy, that Bloomsburg defensive front is tough. Jason Grimm leading the way. Alec Wiley also closing quickly from his linebacker position. Wiley is replacing Jim McCaffrey. McCaffrey's an interesting story. He is on an internship. He's going to be a state policeman. The Huskies thought they wouldn't have him for this season, but they're going to have him just to do the punting just on weekends, and he is a terrific punter.
He certainly is. He's an addition to the team. This team had suffered in previous years with some weakness in the punting game, and he's a tried and true veteran there.
2nd down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Fake to Gillert. Hill on the option, keeps the football, but the Huskies close quickly. He gets about 2. Jay Zaransky coming from his free safety position. Now, Zamani Hammond will be a starter at a safety position, probably in place of Zaransky. He's on a 1-game suspension, also missed the spring. But Hammond, a veteran, will be there. And, of course, with Jay Zaransky, who has seen action at corner and now safety, Huskies should be deep in that secondary, as it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9 situation for Wayne State. 3rd and 9, just short of their own 14-yard line. Roberts is wide to the left side, and Hill's going to roll right and look to throw, and he fires downfield, incomplete, as tight end dropped the football at the 39. Mike Radke was open. The ball right there. He just could not hang on.
He's a veteran. 14 catches last year. Well open downfield, about 20 yards. Well more than they needed for the chains. But it got into his body and bounced away. Nice action, get the quarterback out wide. They're able to chop Josh Klein and buy him some time out there. Threw the ball well, but an incomplete.
Dean Batchelor standing back at his 1-yard line to do the punting. Sean Smith standing at midfield awaiting. Snap is there. Batchelor gets the kick away. Angles it very, very short. And it will roll out of bounds across the way at about the 46-yard line of Wayne State. So Bloomsburg will get the ball for the second time in this first quarter with 7:44 remaining in the period, and the Huskies leading it by a score of 7-0.
Looked great on their first offensive drive. A 10-play drive, 8 runs. Herb Ziegler looking very strong at the tailback position. 2 completed passes, both to Ron Lelko. So they're stepping up into their starting roles this year.
Ziegler again, the tailback in the I formation. Johnny Johnson ahead of him from the 46-yard line. McNamee gives to Ziegler, follows the blocking of Johnson, breaks into the secondary inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And Ziegler was a step away from breaking a big one there.
He's getting some nice blocking at the point of attack, and he gets through that, but that becomes a 3-yard gain. Then it's his instincts. It's the vision. He was veering off to the left the way the play was designed to go. He saw the safety coming in to make the hit. He turns on a dime, veers it the other way, and approaches the chains.
2nd down and 2 after the 8-yard run by Ziegler. At the 38-yard line, McNamee rolling right, looking to throw, turns the corner, lobs the pass incomplete. Wildman, the intended receiver, but McNamee basically threw it away because there was excellent coverage by the Wayne State defense. Nick Burgess, the strong safety among the people covering Wildman.
Very nice play. The defense had it stopped, so he threw it away. He does not throw interceptions, Jim. In fact, he's in the record books for fewest interceptions in a season with 3 for a quarterback with a certain number of throws. Very good with his efficiency in throwing the ball, and he does not give the turnover.
3rd down and 2. Huskies at the Tartar 38. Ziegler on the delay, gets the call, tries the right side, has the first down as he gets to the 35-yard line. Well, Andy, one of the question marks coming into the season is the offensive line, simply because Tim Bear is the lone returning starter from a year ago, very early in the first game of the 1996 season, but right now that offensive line doing a job.
It's looking very good. It looks like a veteran unit. Some of these players have had experience. Mark Paceni and Victor Brown transferred in last year and had trouble cracking into the starting unit. Jeff Benkini had seen a lot of time when people were injured, so they're doing a job.
McNamee gives the ball straight ahead to John Johnson. He's tackled behind the line of scrimmage and then burst forward for maybe a yard. Derek Lindsey made good penetration for the Tartars. He's 6'2", 275 pounds, a senior from Walled Lake, Michigan. By the way, if you're wondering what a Tartar is, the dictionary tells us it's a savage, intractable person, one who proves unexpectedly troublesome or powerful. So far, they have not. From the 35-yard line, 2nd down and 10 Huskies as McNamee back to throw, looking long for Sean Smith. He grabbed at the 10-yard line and tackled at the 5-yard line. Sean Smith got a step on Todd Burgess. Burgess able to make the tackle, but McNamee connects with Sean Smith, and the Huskies have a 1st and goal. They're going to mark the football at the 4-yard line, so it's a 31-yard pickup.
The running game can lull the defense asleep, but you cannot forget about that weapon out there in Sean Smith. He ran a 40-yard dash this summer in 4.36 seconds. Incredible.
Check that. They have it the ball at the 6-yard line as Ziegler gets the call off the left side, gets a blocking, and gets him for the touchdown. Herb Ziegler in from the 6-yard line as the Huskies build the lead.
His 9th carry of the game. He now has 50 yards, halfway to 100 yards with 5:47 left in the first quarter, and he looks unstoppable. Great run off the left side, running over Mark Paceni, the left tackle. Fine blocking, hit near the goal line, but pulls his way in.
Now Tommy Boop will attempt the extra point. Adam Wright does the long snapping as he did a year ago for the Huskies. Ron Lelko with the hold. Boop was true on his first kick as a collegiate. Long count, the snap, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out on the field, 5:47 to go in the first quarter of play with the score. Bloomsburg 14 and Wayne State nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds. football team is concerned, that offense has had the ball twice. They've driven for touchdowns. The latest 6-play, 46-yard drive capped on a 6-yard touchdown run by Swervin Urban Sigler. Tom Boop 2 for 2 in extra points. The Huskies lead it 14-0 with 5:47 still to go in this first quarter of play.
The offense has a lot of weapons, Jim. Sean Smith, Ron Lelko, Glenn McNamee. The fullback game is going to be strong. But Irv Ziegler in particular has looked incredibly sharp. He just can take what would be a 3-yard gain for the average running back and turn it into a 10, 15, or touchdown type of play with his vision and his cutting ability. He seems unstoppable, and he's just taken this game to another level. He's going to add a dimension to the offense. The teams are really going to have to start keying on him in order to stop him with his ability.
There was a penalty against Wayne State on the extra point. The Huskies will be kicking from the 40-yard line. John Roberts and Dan Galovich await John Imp's kick, which is high, and it'll be fielded by Roberts at the 5-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, to the far side of the field, to the 20, the 25, and ridden out of bounds across the way. So Wayne State will get the football. John Zalos, number 19, among the people in on the play for the kick team for the Huskies. And they're marking the football at about the 28-yard line. So that's where the Tartars get the football for the third time. It's their best field position among the 3 possessions, but they have done nothing offensively to this point.
Not a first down yet, Jim. They might come out throwing a bit sooner. Predictable running on first and seconds down is just being stuffed.
Gillert and Reese are the backs in an open set. Burke lined up wide left, but comes in motion right now as Jimmy Hill gives straight ahead, and it goes to Gillert, and Gillert has some running room over the 35 to the 36-yard line before Matt Romano can make the stop for the Huskies. Romano, a veteran, 6'2", 214-pound senior out of Valley Forge. The gain is to the 35-yard line, so the burst gets about 7, 2nd and 3 for Wayne State.
We expect good things from Arnie Gillert, a very talented running back, but yet that's his first carry of the game. They're going with split backs, so really the fullback and halfback duties sort of become blended. There he was the dive back on the first stage of the option.
Chris George, wide right, comes in motion left. Huskies jump across, scramble for the football, flags all over the place.
Tackle Gary Fittery came across, but he came across very aggressively as if he had been induced. Linesmen are going to get together, talk with the umpire and the referee, and just sort out which way this penalty will go, and it seems like they're going to march it off against the Huskies.
Jay Brook is in there at linebacker position for the Huskies on this particular series. He played some a year ago. They feel they have pretty good depth. We mentioned Jim McCaffrey will do the punting for the Huskies. He was a starting linebacker, but the Huskies feel they have the people to replace him there. It is a first down because of that penalty. Tartars have it at their own 40. As Chris George comes in motion to the left side, and Hill is hit, fumbles the football, scramble is on. Tartars get on it. There is another flag on the play.
Might be movement again, but we'll have to see how it sorts out. Tremendous pressure on the inside, forces a fumble as the quarterback is rolling back. It's going to be illegal movement against the Tartars. The Huskies will have the option. They will decline that penalty. Running back in the area is able to recover it, but a loss of about 6 or 7 yards. More than the 5-yard penalty would be worth, plus we'll see the loss of down.
You know, we talked about the Huskies' offensive line earlier, and the basis for optimism as far as that offensive line is concerned is that they were able to hold their own in the spring against this defense, and the feeling was that the Huskies may not play a defense much better than the one they have.
I don't think they can, Jim. That front in particular is veteran. Inside with Jason Grimm and Gary Fittery, you can't get 2 better dominant defensive tackles. And a defensive end, they're even stronger where they have 3 deep with people who can go for all PSAC honors.
2nd down and 14 for the Tartars, and the give on the play is to Earl Reese. He slashes off the left side, gets a couple to about the 38-yard line. Jay Brook, we mentioned, in there. Tony Brown making the play as well. Brown is the brother of Victor Brown, the starting center. They're both from Reading, and Tony Brown's a 6', 253-pound redshirt freshman. The Huskies not only have strength, but they have some depth. Mike Kogut, normally a starter at defensive end, the senior from Mount Carmel, has an injury, and they expect him back for the Indiana game. 3rd down and 12 for Wayne State, and Hill's back to throw a big pass rush. He's in trouble. He'll be sacked back at the 32-yard line. Bloomsburg coming strong. Matt Romano, Chris Luff, who will see a lot of action. Sophomore to Daniel Boone on that defensive front. And he'll have no time. The sack will be back to the 33, 4th and 17. Batchelor to punt once again.
Been doing a lot of punting. Sean Smith is back there deep, hoping for a return. Looking into the sun, though, Jim, makes it tough.
Batchelor standing back at his 19-yard line. Derek Lindsay with the snap. It's a good one, and Dean Batchelor gets the kick away. Line drive kick. Sean Smith fields it at his own 29-yard line. Up to the 35, break through to the 40, and tripped up to get to the 42-yard line. Good return by Smith. Almost broke it. Nick Burgess down on the kick team for the Tartars to make the play. But once again, Bloomsburg will take over in good field position. The Huskies have taken over at their own 49, the Wayne State 46, and now their own 41 in their 3 possessions. And they lead 14-0 with 2:59 to go here in the first quarter of play. McNamee calling signals from the 41. They give us to Ziegler off the left side. Irv Ziegler over the 45. Ziegler slips a tackler over midfield and gets the first down. They call him Swervin', and it's a good nickname for Irv Ziegler because he can really do it.
Shifty hips. He's able to turn very quickly. If you take 2-3 yards on either side of him, you can make that quick pivot and just make people miss. With those hips swerving the way they do, people just aim for 1 point and miss him. 12 yards in that carry. 1st and 10 in Wayne State territory. McNamee back to throw. He'll never get it off. Glenn McNamee sacked back at the 43-yard line. Paul Nemzek and Tim Hamrick are in on the play for Wayne State. Those players didn't start the game, but we were told they would see plenty of action. A loss of 4 on the, more than that, 10 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 20 for the Huskies at their own 43. Hard to believe they can mount such an aggressive pass rush with all the running the Huskies have been doing. Here's 2nd and long. You have to look for pass again.
Kozlowski, the lone running back. Smith wide right. There's a slot to the left. And the 43, quick out to the big tight end, Lallemand. Lallemand gets the 45-yard line. It's a little dump pass quickly over the middle to that big tight end. And we do mean big. 6'7", 253 pounds. Ken Johnson makes the stop. But the Huskies pick up 12 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Lallemand has a world of athletic talent. The fact is it was a rather raw talent last year. He had not really played high school football or college level football very much. He had to get his feet together for the game. 3rd and 8.
McNamee takes the snap, rolls right, steps up into it, fires incomplete, but there'll be a penalty on the play. It was intended for Lelko, and Lelko was being mugged by Dan Galovich. So the Huskies will be the beneficiary of this penalty.
They will, and I like to see the quarterback McNamee come scrambling out to the right with that designed roll and attack the line of scrimmage. He gave the realistic look that he may run with that ball. That threatens the defense off and pulls the secondary up toward him. That can free up the receivers, but he has the ability to stop 1 yard short and throw that ball while he's moving, and that's very, very difficult upon any defensive scheme.
1st and 10, Huskies at the Wayne State 36 following the penalty. Lelko on a wing to the right. Kozlowski, the lone running back behind McNamee. McNamee gives the ball to Kozlowski. He's going to sweep the left side, looking for some running room. Not much there. He'll get maybe 3 to the 33-yard line. Ron Atkins makes the stop for the Tartars along with Rodney Simmons. Both of them were among the leading tacklers for Wayne State a year ago during a season in which they struggled at 3 and 8. Mentioned they are members of the 12-team Midwest Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. 2nd down and 7 for the Huskies at the Tartar 33. Again, Kozlowski, the lone running back. Slot to the right side. McNamee back to throw. No. Gives on a draw to Kozlowski with running room. The 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, and he's upended around the 13-yard line. Good ball handling by McNamee and a strong run by Brett Kozlowski. Jim Filipiak, the free safety, finally made the stop. But Kozlowski, Andy, last year, whenever he got the opportunity, showed that he could run the football.
And he was the number 3 running back. Mike Johnson gone now. He's going to be spelling Irvin Ziegler. The draw play will be have much more impact this season because of the talents of these running backs.
From the 19-yard line, they give us to Ziegler. Ziegler off the left side, breaks inside the 10-yard line to the 9. And Wayne State has the football. And the officials have not marked it down, and going all the way downfield is Ron Atkins. Atkins, and McNamee almost fakes the tackle. He gets in for the touchdown. The Huskies arguing their case, but this was a picked-up fumble and a return as Rod Simmons made the hit, and Ron Atkins with a long return for a touchdown.
Quite a turnaround. Seemed the play was dead. Players stopped playing, but apparently no whistle was blown. So the play does continue, and even though most of the players have stopped, Atkins did and picked up the ball, started running, kind of hesitated, looked back, saw if anyone was chasing him, listened for a whistle, looking at referees, kept himself going, and he takes it all the way to bring his team halfway closer to this one.
And tempting the extra point now will be Matt Fishburne, a junior from Fraser, Michigan, as he tries to cut the Husky lead in half. So Wayne State's been troubled offensively, but they get a touchdown defensively as Fraser's kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out on the field, just 2 seconds to go in the first quarter of play with the score. Bloomsburg 14 and Wayne State 7. We'll be back in 30. Troy, Michigan have had all sorts of problems here in the first quarter on the offensive side of the football, but they got a big play defensively. The Huskies looking to add to a 14-0 lead, closing in, and then Irv Ziegler is hit. Here the play was over, but no whistle, and Ron Atkins, a junior linebacker, picks it up, goes 90 yards with the return. Fishburne with the extra point, and the lead is in half. 14-7 is the lead. And now Fishburne will kick off. Following his extra point, Sean Smith awaits. The kick will be fielded by Smith at the 3-yard line, just the near side of the field to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35, and spins out to the 40-yard line. Terrific return by Sean Smith. Not much room there. And actually, it was Matt Fishburne, the kicker, who was involved in the stop as the first quarter comes to an end. With Andy Lichty and our spotter Mark Malloy from Bloomsburg University's Redmond Stadium. 1 quarter in the book in this 1996 season. And Bloomsburg leading Wayne State by a score of 14-7, but a big turnaround late in that quarter. Huskies with a 2-touchdown advantage, looking to make it 3, but then Ziegler fumbles. Atkins goes 90 yards and cuts the lead in half. Huskies moving from our right to our left in this second quarter, have it at their own 40-yard line. Actually represents their worst field position in the ballgame. Ziegler gets the call off the right side. Ziegler to the 45, cuts it outside to midfield and gets the first down in Wayne State territory. Irv Ziegler brought down by Tom Miglom and Nick Burgess. But again, some good blocking initially, and then some terrific moves by Ziegler.
Got the first 5 yards because of the offensive line, but then he just stopped and veered toward the Wayne State sideline, bending up toward the sideline, then for the chains and moving it. At one point in his career, he was averaging over 9 yards a carry, and the way he's looking, he may be able to do that again.
11 yards on the carry. 1st and 10 at the Wayne State 49. Kozlowski now the tailback, gets the call off the right side. He's got a first down, but a flag flies. Kozlowski gets down about the 32-yard line. Andy, you talked earlier about the situation the Huskies had last year with the 2 tailbacks, Mike Johnson and Irv Ziegler. With Kozlowski, they have almost an identical situation.
Very, very similar. I think maybe a bit more power when Mike Johnson was in there, and Irv coming in as the changeup was sort of the speed and finesse changeup. A little bit reversed now. I think you're going to see Irv as sort of the primary runner. Kozlowski gives him a little bit of a different look. I think we're going to see more draw plays, a little bit more misdirection. But the offensive line has been doing a great job in opening holes. Unfortunately for the Huskies on that play, they opened the hole by assisting the runner holding the opposition. So that's going to set them back.
1st and 18 for the Huskies, back at their own 43-yard line. Randy Davidson wide left, Lelko in the slot. As McNamee back to throw, big pass rush once again, fires to Lalaman, tries to make the grab and cannot. Would have been only a 2-yard gain anyhow. That offensive line for the Huskies has done a terrific job blocking for runs. They've had some problems blocking for Glenn McNamee's drop-back throws.
And it's surprising because the defense should not be anticipating pass. Now here on first and long, they might be thinking about it, but they should be pretty much watching for the run and not getting the great pass rush set up. Even in that case, he's rolling to his left, should be avoiding it, but they're sifting through very quickly.
2nd and 18, Huskies from their own 43, draw play to Kozlowski over the 45, hit and dropped at midfield. So Kozlowski on the draw, brought down by Dan Galovich, who's in there at a corner spot now. Kozlowski picks up 7. Huskies will face a 3rd down and 11 from midfield.
Getting back to help buy him a little bit more time.
3rd down and 11. Slot to the right side, rolling that way is McNamee. Fires a pass for the sideline and almost picked off. There's going to be an interference call, and I think it's going to be against the Husky wide receiver Ron Loco. Actually, Loco did a good job of keeping the ball from being intercepted.
It most likely would have been intercepted. The man got inside position on Lelko, and he had to sort of reach behind and bat it away, and that would make contact. Here is the signal for the interference against the Huskies.
So Glenn McNamee has been roughed up pretty much on passing attempts. That time, even on a roll, was hit hard as he let it go and might have been intercepted had it not been for the interference of Ron Loco. Doing an internship, further his career, and will only be around for the weekends to do the punting. Won't be playing linebacker for the Huskies. As Galovich awaits his punt. Snap is there, and the kick is away. And a beauty. And Galovich at his 10-yard line, looking for some running room. Huskies are down there quickly, bounces away from one tackler, and a good return by Galovich out near the 21-yard line. Jay Zaransky among the people in on the play for the Huskies. So, with Bloomsburg leading 14-7, Wayne State gets the football. 13-12 remaining in this first half of the season opener. So far, the Huskies' defense has been very, very tough.
They haven't given up a yard. Defensively, Wayne State is
an open set, and confusion on the part of the Huskies. They did not have a full complement of players on the field, so they are forced to burn a timeout. Some confusion as to who should be on. So timeout on the field with 13-12 to go in the first half. Ball at their own 21-yard line with a 1st and 10 following the Bloomsburg timeout. 13-12 to go in the half. Huskies leading at 14-7. Gillert and Reese are the backs in an open set. Jimmy Hill over center, gives the ball to Reese, tries the left side and nothing doing. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Jay Brook closing quickly from his linebacker position. The Huskies have been very, very tough defensively to this point, and that figures to be the way it is this season. Barring any injuries, barring a lot of injuries, this should be a very good defensive unit.
It's a veteran unit, and it has depth. They're going to be able to do some situational substitution. They're going to be able to spell people on hot days, keep fresh people in, and not really have much of a talent drop-off. It's a veteran and hungry unit. They take pride in their turnover ratio, and they want to cause turnovers as well as make tackles.
2nd and 10 for the Tartars at their own 21-yard line. Hill takes the snap, rolls left. Brook in pursuit, and Hill dances down that far sideline, close to the 1st down. Well, this is the kind of dimension that a quarterback like Hill can bring to it. Steve Foster forced him out. The Huskies had a defense very, very well. And Hill had nowhere to go with it, but found a little bit of room on that far sideline. They marked the football at the 29, so he picked up 8. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
He was able to maneuver his way down there. Sometimes people aren't sure if he's going to pull up and pass as he's rolling to his left or commit to the run. So you're hesitant to overcommit on that play. Very elusive as he goes down that left sideline.
Extra linebacker John Imp in the ball game, replacing safety Jay Zaransky on this 3rd down and 2 call as the ball is given to Gillert and nothing doing. He'll lose yardage on the play. What terrific defensive work by that front. That figures to be the real strength. Jason Grimm among the people in on the play, a first-team PSA C-pick a year ago. His brother Jeremy Grimm at one of the defensive end positions suffered a tough injury last year. In fact, in game 3 had the ACL tear in his left knee, but he's back full strength. And this unit has been tough in the opener. Loss of a yard, 4th and 3. As Batchelor back to punt. Snap is a good one. And he gets the kick away. Short, very, very high. Steve Foster, the up man, will fair catch. And once again, the Huskies will have the ball in great field position at their 42-yard line. In fact, Bloomsburg has now 5 possessions of the ball game, and their own 40-yard line was the worst field position to start any of the 5.
A tribute to the defense, Jim, but the offense wants to get things going again. The first 2 drives were touchdowns. They moved them mechanically down the field. Then a fumble turns things around and gives up a 90-yard touchdown, and then they're forced to punt after a holding penalty on the last series.
From the 42-yard line, I formation. McNamee takes the snap, rolling right, firing long downfield for Loco, makes an over-shoulder catch, breaks the tackle, and goes in for the touchdown. Ron Loco with a terrific catch. McNamee has it on target. The Huskies build the lead.
Tony Hawk had the coverage and was right in his back pocket, but beautiful passing places it over Lelko's shoulder. There's nothing Hawk can do but make the tackle. However, Lelko shakes free from him deep downfield and coasts in the final 20-30 yards.
58 yards on the touchdown bomb. Glenn McNamee to Ron Loco. And now Tom Boop is on. He is 2 for 2 in extra points this afternoon. And Wayne State is forced to call a timeout. The extra point, Ron Loco just caught the touchdown pass, will do the holding. Adam Wrights with the long snap as the Huskies try to build that lead. Long count. Wrights with a snap placement. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field, 11:24 to go in the first half of play with the score. Bloomsburg 21 and Wayne State 7. We'll be back. Seconds remaining in the first half of play here at Redmond Stadium in the 1996 season opener. Bloomsburg University leading Wayne State from Detroit, Michigan by a score of 21-7. Huskies' last score coming on a touchdown bomb. Glenn McNamee to his high school teammate Ron Loco, 58 yards, a thing of beauty. And the Huskies have built that lead. And John Imp will kick off. John Roberts and Dan Galovich awaiting for the Tartars of Wayne State.
The Wayne State offense will have to go against that imposing defense that has only allowed 1 first down so far, and that one via penalty.
Imp's kick sails wide and off to the right and out of bounds as flags fly. John Imp had a couple of good kicks earlier in this ball game.
Didn't catch that one in the center, Jim. His foot went to the left side of the ball, so it spins awkwardly out of bounds on the Wayne State sidelines. They will take the ball with that field position and give them their best offensive field position of the game.
By far. 11 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in this first half. Stick around at halftime. We'll be talking to the sports information director of the entire Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, Steve Murray. Caught up on goings-on in the conference. 37-yard line is where they've marked it. 1st and 10 for the Tartars. Backs in an open set. Earl Reese, the fullback, gets the call. Ball pops loose. Did it?
Yes, it did, but he came back down upon it, Jim. Bounced right back to him. So he's going to benefit for about a yard or 2 in gain. First step of the option, but we haven't seen the quarterback keep it wide or go with the pitch. It's somewhat of a boring, bland style offense. Nothing but halfback dives out of that split back look. Only 2 passes have been attempted. 1 was dropped. So they're really going to have to, I think, open it up a little bit more. Get that quarterback taking the option wide instead of handing off to the inside man.
2nd and 9, Tartars at the 38-yard line. Their option to left. They pitch the ball, and there'll be a loss to play as Jay Zoransky comes up and makes the play. That's a terrific job coming from that safety position. Andy Grimm, number 40, got his first carry, a sophomore out of Rochester Hills. But Zoransky played it beautifully.
To the defensive end on that side, Jeremy Grimm came across and forced the quarterback deep. He wants to come down the line, parallel the line, just 1 yard from the line of scrimmage. But Grimm forces him to bubble back about 4 yards. Then a pitch takes the pitchman even deeper, and fine defense from the cornerback.
3rd down and 9. Roberts wide to the right. Burks in motion to the right. Backs in an open set, and Hill is back to throw. Big pass rush, gets the pass away, incomplete. Terrific pass rush there by Gary Fitter. He was all over the quarterback, Jimmy Hill, who intended the pass for his big tight end, Mike Radke. Steve Foster with good coverage.
Tough to cover him. Mike Radke is 6'7", 280 pounds. So there was some bumping and shoving as they're fighting for the ball, but unable to complete that.
Dean Batchelor back to punt. He's been busy in that department this first half, standing back at his 23-yard line. Sean Smith anticipating the punt for the Huskies. Steve Foster about 10 yards in front of him. Batchelor's kick will be fielded by Smith at the 25-yard line. Gets by one tackler and then is hit and dropped at about the 33-yard line. As getting down there was Steve Lestage for Wayne State.
Steve Foster made a fine play by avoiding a clip. He saw a man coming down upon Sean Smith, and he wasn't going to be able to get in front of him to be able to help his runner. But he wanted to get in the way, and he had to avoid the temptation of pushing the man from behind. So by laying off, he helps his team with field position that would have hurt them with the penalty.
9:44 to go first half. Bloomsburg with the ball at their own 33, leading 21-7. Slot to the right, I formation behind Glenn McNamee, who gives to tailback Irv Ziegler. He tries the right side, has some running room, breaks into the secondary, over the 40, out near the 44-yard line. Irv Ziegler brought down by Jim Filipiak, the free safety, and Ron Atkins, one of the linebackers. But Ziegler continues his big first half.
Well, he's making the chains.
11 yards there. 1st and 10, Huskies at their own 44. Slot to the left side. Again, Ziegler gets the call. Takes it up the middle. Lowers the shoulder. Gets over midfield. Close to a first down once again. Ken Johnson makes the play. They mark it at the 48-yard line. So he picked up 8 there. 2nd down and 2.
Strong blocking off the left side, strong blocking off the right side, but again, they're getting him the initial 3, 4, even 5 yards. After that, his skills take over. He becomes elusive to the members in the secondary and stretches toward the chains.
2nd down and 2 call. McNamee is going to roll right, looking to throw, looking long for Sean Smith. Incomplete, but a flag flies. Smith made a nice move. That was not the original plan, I don't think. And then when he saw McNamee rolling right, delaying, he went long and appeared to be interfered with. Tony Hawk was the victim.
Yeah, Tony Hawk at 5'7" can match up in size with Sean Smith, but not quite the speed. A deep out and up. The quarterback had the time. The receivers were covered underneath, so he heaved it downfield. And Hawk really did have to pull at Sean Smith to prevent the possible long completion. So we'll see that one marched off.
So the Huskies will move the sticks after the flag.
Ooh, they waved it off, Jim. They are not marking it.
They ruled it uncatchable?
I don't think it was.
That would be the only way that would be ruled off.
Or if he had been knocked out of bounds. He was near the sideline.
3rd down and 2 now at the 48-yard line. Slot to the right, I formation. McNamee barks the Tartars offside. Ziegler does take the ball and gets the first down. But Glenn McNamee changed the cadence. Boy, you could tell because there were 4 or 5 Tartars that jumped with that.
Such a headsy quarterback. He realizes they need a yard. Why not change the cadence? You haven't done it yet in this game. Well, all of a sudden, a different type of barking of the signals brings the entire team across, and yet the Huskies will continue the play to see if they can get more yardage. They're going to wipe away the penalty, give Ziegler credit for the carry because it nets a bit more.
6 yards on the carry for Irv Ziegler. Huskies with a first down at the Tartar 42. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Ziegler now has over 100 yards in this first half.
A long way to go in this one. Ziegler, the tailback again in the I formation, gets the call up the middle, breaks one tackle, spins inside the 40, down about the 37-yard line. Picking up 5, Ron Atkins and Robert Embry combine on the stop from their linebacker positions.
Quite set for the play and gains only 5 yards.
Second down for the Huskies at the Wayne State 37-yard line. Slot to this, the near side of the field. Kozlowski now the tailback in the eye. Second down call goes to Brett Kozlowski up the middle and is very close to the first down yardage.
Great blocking off the left side. Tim Bear was able to front his man and turn him in. Mark Vicente turns his man out, and he got a huge hole on the inside. The linebackers, which is the strength of this defense, can't really get to the play because the line is shooting off and driving the defensive tackles into the linebackers. So they have a tough time scraping down to the hole to try to make their hits.
Third down and 1. Huskies inside the Wayne State 33-yard line. Sigler is back in there as the tailback in the eye. Sean Smith is wide to the left side. Third down call. Sigler gets it. Hit behind the line. Breaks away. Gets the first down. Spins for more to the 28-yard line, and a flag flies onto the pile.
At the point of the tackle, so perhaps a face masking call may be tacked on to this. Nice elusive running. That time linebackers blitzed into the hole. They met the fullback in the backfield who was trying to do the lead blocking. And at that point, Ziegler had to adjust. He did some juking, did some dancing. He knew he needed the chains, and with his shiftiness, he was able to make that. Now we're going to add 15 yards for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after it.
They'll go all the way to the 14-yard line of Wayne State as Bloomsburg trying to add to their lead with 6:49 to go here in the first half. Ron Loco, who has caught 2 touchdown passes in the game, is wide to the right side. Sean Smith wide to the left. From the 14, I formation behind quarterback Glenn McNamee. Gives the ball to Ziegler, tries the right side, breaks a tackle, gets outside to the 10, puts a move to the 5, lowers the shoulder to the 3, maybe the 2-yard line before he's knocked down. Herb Ziegler takes it outside. We've seen him run inside as well. And Dan Donaldson among the people in on the stop for Wayne State, as Bloomsburg's going to have a first and goal at the 3, 11 more yards for Herb Ziegler.
His greatest asset is his elusiveness, his ability to cut, the vision to see the hole. But he also has outstanding speed. And that time you saw everything bunching up on the inside. He broke it quickly to the outside and used his speed to get his typical 10 yards.
And now Bloomsburg will use a timeout here. 6:11 to go in the first half. 21-7 Huskies. We'll be back in from Bloomsburg University's Redmond Stadium. 6 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the first half of this 1996 season opener. Bloomsburg leading Wayne State from Detroit, Michigan, 21-7. And the Huskies following their timeout with a great opportunity to add to that lead. First and goal at the Wayne State 3-yard line. John Johnson ahead of Herb Ziegler in the I formation. The call goes to Johnson. Johnson up the middle, running hard, very, very close, but did not get in.
Going to be just short. Less than a yard to go, and you might see the fullback try to power again. Victor Brown at center, 294 yards, snapped the ball and got a nice surge going forward. Casey Nideye is now in at left guard in this goal line. Look, he too pushing his man back.
Second down and goal, Huskies inside the 1-yard line. Josh Klein is in at a tight end position. Call goes to Ziegler, trying to get outside left, hit behind the line of scrimmage, extends, gets back to the 1. But it's going to bring up a third and goal. Tony Hawk, who has been victimized with passes from that quarterback position, comes up and plays the run very well. So it's third down and goal for Bloomsburg outside the 1-yard line, so they lost about a half yard on the play.
And timing was a bit funky, Jim. They're bringing a man in motion. I think they want to get him past the center before the snap, but things happen a little quickly. Not everyone together on the cadence.
Third down and goal. Lelko in motion to the left side. McNamee is going to roll right. He's going to fire the pass. Lelko makes a diving attempt. They're going to give him the catch, but they're not going to give him the touchdown. He's right near that goal line, inches away.
He had to play it better himself, Jimmy. He wanted to break it off, run the man off, and come back, but he came back past the goal. He has to slide to make the catch, so he downs himself. Professionally, would have been able to slide and move the ball over the goal, but at the point where he is down, that's where they spot the ball. A good call by the official. We'll see a play from scrimmage here on 4th down.
Huskies inches from the Wayne State goal line. 4th down call coming. McNamee, a quick count, gives to Ziegler off the left side, in for the touchdown. Herb Ziegler in for the score, and Bloomsburg adds to their lead.
They went with an unbalanced line to the left side, Jim, and I think it confused the defense from the Tartars. Very quick substitution, unbalances that line. There's one extra gap they need to hit, and they're able to split that gap with Ziegler just enough to get the 6 points.
Strong-looking drive by the Huskies, 67 yards altogether. And Tom Boop, who's been perfect in extra points this afternoon, 3 for 3.
Haynes kicking, Jim.
So they'll change kickers. Jim Haynes will try this one. The snap is there. Placement. Kick is up. And the kick is good. Time out on the field. 4:16 to go in the first half of play with the score. Bloomsburg 28. Wayne State 7. We'll be back in 3rd at halftime. Dave Delbo will bring us updated on the college football scoreboard from today, and immediately following our broadcast today from Redmond Stadium, stay tuned for the scoreboard show. All the results in college football hosted by Dave Delbo. Right here, the score is 28-7 Bloomsburg with 4:16 to go in the first half. And John Imp will kick off for the Huskies. And it will be fielded by Galovich at the 10-yard line. Takes it to the far side of the field to the 20, to the 25, over the 30, and hit and dropped it around the 33-yard line. Galovich with a good return. Aaron Bordas makes the stop on the kick team for the Huskies. So Wayne State's offense, which has really been stymied by Bloomsburg this afternoon, takes over at their own 34-yard line with a 1st and 10.
And their total offense is into negative integers, Jim. Only 1 first down, and that came because of a penalty. Very stifling defensive unit. Very tough in the front 4. Excellent linebacking corps, and almost impossible to throw against with the secondary.
Andy Grimm, Arnie Gillert are the backs in an open set. Jimmy Hill is the quarterback, sets him down at the 34-yard line. Hill back to throw, fires a quick out. Has his man across the way. Burks, and the completion out to the 40-yard line. So Jimmy Hill with the quick hitter hits Tim Farmer, his former Toledo University teammate. Farmer 6'1", 175-pound junior from Flint, Michigan. Steve Foster and Jay Zaransky combine on the stop. They pick up 6.
First completed pass of the game for the Tartars, and for the collegiate careers of the quarterback and receiver, their first completions.
2nd down call. Grimm and Gillert again, backs in an open set. Bloomsburg coming hard and passes away. Completion to Roberts for a gain of a couple. There is a flag on the play, though.
Josh Klein at defensive end got a head start on the play. He was rolling, and he rolled into the neutral zone on the snap.
So that would be a 1st down for the Tartars. 2nd first down they've gotten via the penalty.
He's a very athletic individual, and they feel they may be able to use him a little bit at tight end in some instances, so he has a legal receiver number on.
1st and 10 for Wayne State. Had the ball at midfield. Jimmy Hill takes the snap. He rolls to his right, steps up into it, fires the pass incomplete, intended for Roberts, who was hit by linebacker Chris Acuff just as the ball got there. Acuff, 5'10", 218-pound junior from Bellefonte. We talked about the Huskies' depth, the linebacker spot. They start Matt Romano, Frank Babula, and Alec Wiley, but we've already seen Jay Brook, John Emp, and Chris Acuff all in there during the course of this half.
The depth certainly will help the team if there's an injury along the way. You have experienced players who can help, and also just to keep people fresh and keep them competitive among themselves, to play at their highest level, knowing someone's there to push them.
2nd and 10 for Wayne State from midfield. Jimmy Hill back to throw, fires a quick out. The ball is caught by Chris George, then he's felled out of bounds to the 48-yard line. Boy, Derek Lynch almost picked it off, took a chance on it, and somehow George got it. Finally, the strong safety Ben Hennikel made the stop for the Huskies.
Lynch, I think, was afraid of interference. He had such an opportunity, but he was afraid to commit for the interception. Then he really had to back off and not hit the man, or he'd interfere with them. He allowed the catch and then was sort of back on his heels for the tackle, so George bounces off him and gains the yardage. 3rd down and 3 for Wayne State in Bloomsburg territory for the first time, and the Tartars will talk it over with the timeout. 3:14 to go first half. Bloomsburg 28, Wayne State 7. We'll be back in the 1996 season opener here at Redmond Stadium. Bloomsburg University leading Wayne State University from Detroit, Michigan by a score of 28-7. The Tartars of Wayne State in Bloomsburg territory for the first time in the ball game at the Husky 48. Slot to the left side. Grimm and Gillert are the backs in an open set. 3rd down and 3 call coming. Bloomsburg coming on a blitz. Hill turns and he will be buried back at the 41-yard line. Alec Wiley coming strong for the Huskies, who came with an all-out blitz. Wayne State had no answer, and another punting situation for the Tartars. He really came, a 242-pound linebacker with the head of steam. He was able to time the snap well, so he has a 5-yard head start and then angles and nails that quarterback. John Devlin calling the blitz at the opportune time. Batchelor back to do the punting, back at his 27-yard line. Sean Smith hoping to get an opportunity for a return. Snap is there. Batchelor gets the kick away very, very, very high, and Sean Smith will fair catch inside the 20-yard line. Nice punt by the freshman from Northville, Michigan, Dean Batchelor. So Bloomsburg will take over in their worst field position of this ball game. 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Huskies have 1 timeout remaining. They have 2:27 remaining in the half, and their lead is 28-7. Curious to see how they'll play this, if they'll go into a 2-minute drill and try to force another score. I think early in the series they might stay with the conservative running game, see if they can get to midfield with time left, and then try to push things. Ball at the 19-yard line, slot to the left side. The give is to Irv Ziegler, and he's dropped about the 15-yard line. Actually ran in the back of one of his blockers and bounced her. He doesn't see that color jersey. He's looking for the other, and he trips himself up. 2nd down and 14 for the Huskies after Ship. Lallemand lines up as the tight end on the right side, and they'll run that way with Irv Ziegler, and he is tackled right about the 16-yard line. Rodney Simmons makes the play defensively for the Tartars. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 12 for Bloomsburg. They mark the ball at the 17-yard line, so give Ziegler 2 on the play. Now, Wayne State will use a timeout because they sense they might get good field position. They can stop the Huskies on this next play. So we'll keep it right here with 1 minute and 29 seconds remaining in this first half. Back up, Mike Dominic is ill and not in uniform. And Glenn McNamee, though, appears to be okay, and he's standing, I don't know, I don't see him on the sideline. I'm looking for him as well and don't see him right at the moment, Jim. We did not see anything happen to him during the course of this half, so we'll have to get a report on Glenn McNamee at halftime. There's just 1:33 remaining in the half. And Kevin Visluski, the backup quarterback for this ball game, brings his team to the 17-yard line with 3rd down and 12, and he runs into Irv Ziegler and then has to keep the football, and he's buried back at the 10-yard line. Carl Roseborough closing in. So Huskies having their problems without McNamee in the lineup, and a loss back to the 10-yard line. The clock's running with 1:13 to go in the half, but Wayne State's going to figure to get great field position as Jim McCaffrey is standing 5 yards deep in his own end zone to do the punting. Seems they're going to set up for the return rather than try to pressure the punter, though, Jim. Back deep is Galovich, and we're going to have a timeout by Bloomsburg. So the Huskies will use their final timeout here. The pressure punt coming 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Snap is there. They're coming hard. McCaffrey gets the kick away. Very, very high. And Galovich at his own 46-yard line is hit and hit hard at midfield. John Imp among the people getting down for the Huskies. Boy, what a terrific punt by Jim McCaffrey. Very, very high, Jim. It wasn't the greatest of distance, but it got very high and did carry far enough. He was just happy to get it off. There's a penalty flag as well. The punt was in the air and the wide receivers are trying to get down as headhunters. At that point, a flag is thrown. I believe that there might have already been possession by Wayne State. You see an illegal use of the hands against Wayne State. I believe Wayne State will maintain possession here.
39 seconds remaining in this first half. Bloomsburg will have an off week next week. And then a big battle Saturday night, September the 14th, when they travel to Indiana. One of the few times ever Indiana is not in a top 20 poll, but keep in mind that is a preseason poll. The Indians are likely to be somewhere before it's all over. The penalty will take Wayne State back to their 36-yard line, where they'll have it 1st and 10 with 39 seconds to go. By our count, they have one timeout remaining. Slot to the right side, and from the shotgun formation, a snap is a bad one. Hill drags it down, and he is dragged down by Jeremy Grimm for a huge loss in the play. Ball took a fortuitous bounce where Hill is concerned. Snap went over his head. He was able to get one hand on, then bounce right in his hands, but Jeremy Grimm was all over him. They lose back to the 18-yard line, an 18-yard loss. 2nd down and 28 from that point. Now they may just let that clock wind down after that. 7 and 6, and they're in no particular hurry. As Hill sets him down, does get the play off, however. So he gives the ball to Reese, and Reese will get out to the 23 for a 5-yard pickup. Flag flies, so before we end this half, we'll check on the penalty. So the referee indicates personal foul against Bloomsburg. Half can't end on a penalty, so we'll see whether Wayne State wants the penalty and decides to go for it. It appears that they've indicated, the officials, that that's it for the first half. We'll wait. Get the official indication. The official held the ball in the air and circled it around like that would be the end of the first half, and that indeed is. So the drama is over. 28-7 is the Bloomsburg lead. We'll be back with the first half scoring in 60 seconds.
So on the negative side of the ledger for total offenses, we'll be setting up for the kickoff. And I expect more of the same here in the second half, Jim. The Huskies have really shown to be offensively a machine. They've been replacing the Buck Erdleys and the Mike Johnsons and the Saheed Brooks as people have just stepped up, and Ron Lelko and Irv Ziegler and John Johnson. They don't look like they've missed a beat from last year.
Well, an interesting personal foul against Bloomsburg to start the second half. Now, I heard a PA announcement. I just couldn't pick it up entirely. Maybe that was at the end of the half, carried over to this half, but that it's going to mean that they're kicking off at midfield. Recall there was a flag at the very end of the half. It's going to be run off here, and the kick will drive way, way out of the end zone. So that means that Sean Smith will not have an opportunity. In the last play of the half, going back to that, there was a personal foul against Bloomsburg. It was marked off on the opening kickoff, and so Bloomsburg, following the long kick, will put in play 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
And a significant penalty because you deny Sean Smith the opportunity for the return. Anytime he touches the ball in a specialty game, and more importantly on a kick return, because he's going to definitely be able to make the return when he catches the ball. Punts off and end as fair catches because coverage is there. So he's denied that chance.
1st and 10 for the Huskies, their own 20-yard line. They move from our right to our left as we view things here in the second half. Lolleman's the tight end on the left side. Ziegler gets the call and tries to run that side, but picks up only a yard. Good defensive work by Ken Johnson, the middle linebacker, 6 foot, 225-pound senior. So Ziegler picks up 1. 2nd down and 9 for the Huskies at their own 21-yard line.
Good defensive play throughout the game. We've been seeing this running back, Irv Ziegler, bursting for 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards. Here they hold him on the first play of the second half from scrimmage to a 1-yard gain.
Lelko wide to the right. Back to throw is McNamee, rolling to his right. Fires the out to Lelko. He makes the grab and gets out of bounds at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 Huskies.
Tough. He's on the sideline. He has to worry about possessing the ball ball with the catch and getting the feet down inbounds. Just enough for the chains. Falls down on the chains on the Wayne State sideline.
Mike Loco, the younger brother of Ron, is a freshman recruit of the Huskies. He's on the roster, not ready to go this afternoon, but they think he is going to be a good one. 1st and 10 after the 10-yard strike from McNamee to Loco. As the give is to Irv Ziegler, trying to right side. He'll be dragged down for a loss in the play. Carl Roseborough was all over that play from his defensive end position. So Wayne State obviously spent some time thinking about Irv Ziegler at halftime and what they can do to combat him. And on his first 2 carries the second half, they've done very, very well. Loss of 4 there, 2nd and 14.
There's penetration initially, Jim. They're committing to getting into the backfield. As soon as that ball is moved, they're going to blitz a linebacker or shoot a gap so that he can't get that forward momentum.
Randy Davidson wide to the left, slot to the right. Brett Kozlowski, the lone running back. McNamee back to throw. Screen inside to Sean Smith. He has it, and Smith is brought down about the 35-yard line. An inside screen that the Huskies have used effectively over the years to wide receivers. Ron Loco and Sean Smith picks up about 8 on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 at the 35.
Takes great advantage of his speed. Get him the ball and use him immediately with blockers in front. He has the courage to run on the inside. He was disappointed he couldn't get more.
3rd and 6 Huskies at their own 35. Slot to the right side. McNamee back to throw. Big pass rush, and he will be sacked inside the 28-yard line. Carl Roseborough again in on the play for the Chargers. So pass protection has been a problem this afternoon for the Huskies. McNamee suffers the sack, and the punt team is on.
He really hasn't had the time. Straight drop back, 5-step drop. All the assignments are very clear. You block a certain zone, keep people out. But outmanned by blitzing linebackers, they collapse on the quarterback.
4th and 13. Jim McCaffrey in to do the punting. Adam Wright's set for the long snap. It's there, and McCaffrey gets the kick away. And Galovich will field it at his 32-yard line. Look for some running room, and he won't get any. Good coverage downfield by Steve Foster, making the tackle on Galovich in the open field. So Wayne State will get their first possession of the second half. It'll be from their own 33-yard line. 12:51 remaining in this 3rd period, and Bloomsburg continuing to lead by a score of 28-7.
Steve Foster made a great play, Jim. He's very good as a headhunter. He goes out wide, gets down on the punt, and somehow always is in the face of that ball carrier. It was one-on-one, often an elusive punt return man, but he was able to wrap him up and bring him down for no return yardage at all.
Reese and Gillard are the backs in an open set. Burks comes in motion to the right side. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Gillard gets the call. Lots of running room over the 45 out near midfield. Arnie Gillard running the ball effectively. Jay Zoransky and Ben Hennikel, the Huskies safeties, combine on the stop, but not before Arnie Gillard picks up 16 yards. So 2 things that Wayne State was not able to do in the first half: stop Irv Ziegler defensively and run the ball on their offense. And very early here in the 3rd quarter, they've done both.
And that's the only play they've run. Halfback dive from a split back position. The first step of the option. They burst it for 16. Surprising.
George in motion to the left side. Backs in an open set. The give is to Gillard once again, and a pretty good surge by that offensive front, and he's over midfield near the Bloomsburg 46-yard line before Jason Grimm can make the stop for the Huskies.
Hit it with the quick hitter and it burst. This time they earned it with the deception of the option fake.
2nd and 5 for the Tartars at the Husky 46-yard line, and Jimmy Hill's back to throw, fires the quick out, incomplete. Looked like it was deflected at the line of scrimmage.
It had that look, but I couldn't see whose hand got up. He went about 3 steps and throw, a timing pattern, a quick out. There was coverage on the man, but somehow the timing was thrown off and the ball is deflected before it's able to get there.
Looked like Gary Fittery got a hand on it. 6'1", 266-pound junior from Manheim Central. That whole front 4 returning from a year ago. Now 3rd down and 5. for Wayne State from the Bloomsburg 46, and Jimmy Hill will operate from shotgun. Last time there was a bad snap in this situation, and this time the tight end moves before the play got started.
He does. Mike Radke's a veteran, 6'7", 280 pounds, and he might have been going downfield on a pass pattern. So an obvious jump. It was a little longer than 5. A penalty wasn't going to give it to them, so it's going to be closer to 11 yards now here on 3rd down.
Jimmy Hill will operate from shotgun. He has a slot to the right side, a wide receiver, Al Burks, to the left. 3rd and long. Snap is a good one. Hill steps up into the pocket, looking across the middle, fires the pass, incomplete. Intended for John Roberts. Pretty good coverage. Frank Babula, Ben Hennikel, linebacker and strong safety, respectively, back on the coverage for the Huskies.
So stepped up. He's only a yard behind the scrimmage when he drills that, but as you mentioned, 3 people converging toward the ball.
The punting situation, Dean Batchelor standing back at his 35-yard line, and Sean Smith anticipating for the Huskies. The snap is right there, and Batchelor gets the kick away. Angles it away from Smith, bounces about the 18-yard line, and bounces out of bounds around the 19. So an effective kick. Anytime you keep it out of the hands of Sean Smith and get it anywhere inside the 20, that's a nice job by the freshman from Northville, Michigan, Dean Batchelor. So the Huskies with their second possession of this 3rd quarter, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Have to make some adjustments here.
1st and 10 for the Huskies. Herb Sigler. You know, it's John Johnson who gets the call, and he's over the 20 out to about the 22-yard line. Picks up about 3 on the play. Ken Johnson makes the tackle from his middle linebacker position. John Johnson filling the big shoes of Saheed Brooks, who is such a tremendous fullback for the Huskies. Johnson got the call that time. They're marking it out about the 23, so picked up 4. 2nd down and 6. Sigler, again, the tailback in the I formation. Ron Loco, who's caught 2 touchdown passes in the game, is wide to right. Movement, whistles, flags. Charters jumped across, but pointing to the Bloomsburg offensive front, feeling that there was movement, and the officials agreed.
And they convinced them. When so many people point emphatically, you have to, pretty much assume that there is movement, and the linesman did see it, so back up 5 more yards for the Huskies. Coach Bill Hart, the offensive coordinator, did notice that with this penetration charging forward, sometimes you can defeat that type of penetration with the quick hitter that goes the other way more quickly and they can't react.
2nd and 11. Huskies from their own 18-yard line. High formation behind McNamee. Sigler gets the call, and he is stuffed once again. The starter defensive unit is fired up, and they have played much better early here in this 3rd quarter. They did throughout the first half. That time Sigler will lose a yard to the 17. He'll bring up 3rd down and 12. Paul Nemzek, 235-pound sophomore, in on the play.
It's like they suited up a different unit. We had seen a rather lackadaisical defense that was being pushed around by the Huskies linemen. Now they are coming off the ball, getting penetration, and they're in the backfield before the Huskies can react.
3rd down and 12. Kozlowski, the lone running back. McNamee rolls right, looking to throw. He'll be sacked again inside the 10-yard line, back at the 8. Rodney Simmons makes the play. So Bloomsburg has had a lot of difficulty this afternoon pass protecting. And another sack against Glenn McNamee, loss of 9 here. And Jim McCaffrey will be punting from deep in his own end zone as the sun goes behind the clouds here at the Redmond Stadium.
Takes a hard lick, too, lifted up and thrown to the turf.
Adam Wrights will do the long snapping. It's there, and McCaffrey gets the kick away, but barely. The ball bounces at Bloomsburg 40. Galovich feels it at the 47, and he's getting tackled at the 43, maybe the 42-yard line. There is a flag down on the play.
At the punter, Jim, there was contact, as you mentioned. We'll see a roughing the punter call. 4th and about 20. I'm not sure if this is an automatic 1st down. I'm sure in any case they will accept the penalty and work from there. Looks like
big penalty. Wayne State was about to get the football at the Bloomsburg 42. Instead, the Huskies have it, 1st down, thrown 24. 8:52 to go, 3rd quarter. The give is to Herb Sigler, trying to get outside left. Skirts by one tackler, turns the corner, and is ridden out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Boy, terrific effort there by Sigler. Ken Johnson finally made the stop. But Tony Hawk from his cornerback position had a good shot at Sigler. Good running backs will usually make at least that first man miss. Sigler did just that. Very close to the first down yardage, 2nd and 1.
Give him a good 9 yards. He used the speed that time. He had the wide side of the field. He had basic blocking on the inside. The one man he had to make miss, he was able to sort of juke step him and get wide, use the speed to stretch toward the chains.
John Johnson is the fullback in the I formation on 2nd down and 1. McNamee will give it to Johnson, breaks a tackle over the 40, the 45 to midfield, to the 45, to the 40, pulls over tackler down to the 30-yard line. John Johnson with a terrific burst. The Huskies with a big play. Mark Pacente shaken up on the play. But Andy, when John Johnson got in the open field, it was almost like he was uncomfortable at that position. He was actually looking for people to run over, and he found a few.
He is a bowling ball. He likes to use the brute strength at 231 pounds in his compact frame. He got a quick little trap on the inside. So the misdirection fools people. They're keying on Ziegler. He takes the linebackers one way. Great blocking at the point of attack, and then this huge lane. But he showed some nice speed on that run, Jim. I thought he got maximum yardage out of it. Lineman down on the field slows things down, or I think he cramped up in his hamstring on that play. But a great little trap block on the inside, controlling things now with a little bit of a different look.
And their zone power.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think he cramped up, Jim, by the way he grabbed at the leg to begin with, and by the way he's walking off the field. So the line is tuned up and ready to go, and they approach the ball.
Huskies with the ball at the Tartar 30-yard line with a 1st and 10. Sigler is the tailback in the I formation. Rashid Braddock now is the fullback, replacing John Johnson. And the give on the delay is Sigler. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks one tackle, breaks another, turns the corner, gets down inside the 20-yard line. Just a terrific effort by swerving Irvin Sigler. Jim Filipiak, the free safety, finally made the play, but the play looked like a loss. Instead, it's a considerable gain.
There's a great defensive play by the backside defensive end. He was going to be unblocked according to the scheme because he shouldn't get to the play, but he had great quickness and read it well. So we saw that Ziegler had to shed that man in the backfield. Then he turns it up and bursts for 10.
12 yards altogether at the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 Huskies. McNamee takes the snap, rolls right, fires, coming back, making the grab is Ron Loco down around the 6-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds. 1st and goal, Huskies.
Perfect timing. We've mentioned how these people have worked all summer with each other in New Jersey while at home in the off-season. Little roll out, 4 or 5 steps, and on the 5th step, the arm is moving forward as the man is making the break. He turns, the ball is already in the air. There's no way that a cornerback can play it. If executed perfectly, and if the protection is there, they will complete that pass all the time for 10 yards. Unless they're gambling, then they'll be beaten deep.
1st and goal, Bloomsburg at the 6-yard line. Braddock ahead of Sigler. Fake to Sigler. Rolling right is McNamee. Looking to throw. Now he's going to keep the football. Lowers the shoulder and gets to the 4-yard line. 2nd down and goal from there. But Bloomsburg, prior to that play, had a string of plays. 36-yard run by Johnson, followed by a 12-yard run by Sigler, followed by a 12-yard pass to Loco. So the offense that struggled early in this quarter, hot now as they have a 2nd and goal inside the 5.
And 324-pound Mark Pacente has re-entered the game here in this goal line situation.
Braddock ahead of Sigler in the I. Some shifting along the offensive front, and now flags down on the play.
They shifted a tackle, and once they take their stances, they cannot do that. So we're going to see a movement call, blown dead. 5 yards hurts in this situation. It changed the entire offensive thinking. In fact, Josh Klein was in as a power blocking tight end. He now leaves the game, and we see a taller receiver, Randy Davidson, entering.
2nd down and goal, Bloomsburg from the Wayne State 9-yard line. Davidson is wide to the left side. Loco comes in motion to that side, and McNamee on a roll that way. Fires the pass for Davidson. Incomplete. Terrific defensive play by Tony Hawk. He's given up a lot of size to Davidson at the last moment. He knocked the ball away. Hawk is listed as 5'7", Randy Davidson at 6'4". The pass was right on target, but Hawk knocked it away, so it'll be 3rd and goal, Huskies at the 9.
That particular pattern won't take advantage of the height of the receiver. A fade pattern will, and they might try to go that way to take advantage of the height. But there, Hawk was in position, able to get the arm to the inside and knock it away.
3rd down and goal, Bloomsburg. Lallemand is the tight end on the right side. 3 receivers to the left. He gives to Kozlowski. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage, and they'll lose yardage back at the 13-yard line. So 3rd goal from the 9. They try Kozlowski on the run, but they'll lose yardage to the 12. Todd Burgess, the corner. Carl Roseborough, defensive end, making the play. They mark the ball at the 11. 4th and goal from there. And Tommy Boop, who is 3 for 3 in extra points, will be on to attempt his first collegiate field goal. Freshman out of Berwick, out of the hold of Ron Loco, who will set it down at the 18. So this is a 28-yard field goal attempt. Snap, placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field. 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter of play with the score. Bloomsburg 31 and Wayne State 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And Bloomsburg has built their lead to 31-7.
Kicking off the ground. That time he got a little bit low. Difference between high school and college with that field goal.
John Imp will kick off, and it's a good kick, and Roberts will field up the middle at the 6-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25. Flags fly as he returns it over the 30 to about the 35-yard line. Matt Baumgartner among the people in on the stop for the Huskies.
We're going to see an illegal block, if not an unsportsmanlike conduct. The official who threw the flag threw it back upfield to the point where the block occurred, and we see a player limping off for the Huskies. So a dangerous situation there is going to be flagged, and if they go back to the point of the infraction, it's about 10 yards further back.
Chris Aka, the player shaken up, backup linebacker for the Huskies. Here is the call. Pointed toward Bloomsburg.
Oh, and they marched it against Bloomsburg. They called an illegal block below the waist. Sometimes you can dive at people's angles to knock down the interference and the blockers. If that's the case, it's against the Huskies, and they're marking it from the point of the tackle. It's not the way they seem to throw the flag, but that's what it is.
And it's a 1st and 10 at midfield for Wayne State, so they make out well in that exchange. But Bloomsburg has the lead at 31-7. As Tim Farmer comes out here to the right side, backs in an open set behind quarterback Jimmy Hill. Burks was lined up wide left. He comes in motion to the right. From midfield, Hill gives it straight ahead, and a gain of just a couple. Wayman Jones in that lineup now. Tackled by Frank Babula and Alec Wiley. 2nd down and 8. The Tartars at the Husky 48. Jones and Grimm, again, the backs in an open set for Wayne State. As Hill off play action, back to throw, hits that big tight end, Radke, and gets the 1st down to the Bloomsburg 36-yard line. Jay Zaransky makes the stop for the Huskies, but Mike Radke, 6'7", 280-pound senior, comes up with the catch, 12 yards and a 1st down.
It was a nice play. Now that they're having some success with the inside running game, they use that action for play action faking. Tight end springs, linebacker vacates to make the tackle on what he thinks is a run. The tight end is open down the middle.
From the Bloomsburg 36-yard line. Fake to Grimm. Hill pitches then on the option to Jones. He's got a little bit of running room, and then a good open field tackle by Ben Hennikel. Keeps it from a big gain. They do, however, pick up 7 as he gets to the 29-yard line.
First time they've pitched the option. First time we've seen the quarterback keeping it down the line. I also believe they extended the line on that side, Jim. They may have come out unbalanced, so a different type of look. Defense may have been momentarily confused. They've been worried about the success of the dive. They jumped on the dive back, There was quite a bit of room outside here, and they ran that option well.
2nd down and 2 for Wayne State at the Bloomsburg 29. Bickerstaff is the tight end on the right side, and the give to Wayman Jones. He tries the right and looks like he has the first down near the 31-yard line. Ben Hennikel, the strong safety, making the play for the Huskies. The younger brother of Chet Hennikel, an All-American here at Bloomsburg at a safety position. Both of them excellent baseball players as well. Chet helping out the Bloomsburg coaching staff this fall. He's on the sidelines today. 26-yard line is the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 for Wayne State, one of their best offensive series of the ball game, with 3:04 and the clock running. That's what remains here in the 3rd quarter. John Roberts wide to the right. Chris George lined up wide left. Now he comes in motion to the right. From the 26, Jimmy Hill takes the snap, back to throw. Huskies coming hard. He'll be sacked back at the 34-yard line. A terrific pass rush on Jimmy Hill as the people blocking caving in, and Gary Fittery overpowering his man and gets most of the Wayne State quarterback for a loss of 6 back to the 32, 2nd and 16.
The way to stop an offensive drive is to get some pressure and knock them for the loss. Fittery is a force on the inside. He overpowered his man, came straight up the field and just took that quarterback down.
Al Burks wide to the left side, slot to the right, and Jimmy Hill will operate from shotgun on 2nd and 16 from the Bloomsburg 32. Takes the snap, back to throw, fires, has Chris George over the middle, but George is brought down after a very short gain at the 29-yard line. Alec Wiley and Steve Foster closing quickly for the Huskies. Frank Babula there as well. So the completion is only for about 3 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 13 for Wayne State.
In the secondary allowed for the catch underneath. They were in position to make the tackle. So while it looked very open, the man was actually crossing only a yard or 2 beyond the line of scrimmage. He caught it while he was moving, so there's the opportunity for the run after the catch. The tacklers converge very quickly and limit that.
3rd down call at the Bloomsburg 29-yard line. Slot to the right side. Burks is wide to the left. Hill fakes handoff, back to throw. He'll never get it off. Sacked again back at the 39-yard line. Matt Romano and Alec Wiley, the linebackers, coming hard for the Huskies. And a big loss for Wayne State. They're marking at the 37, a loss of 8. It'll bring up 4th down and 21. Trailing 31-7, though. The time winding down in the 3rd quarter. And with the ball in Bloomsburg territory, they will go for it.
If the Huskies come again, could be their 6th sack of the game. Shotgun.
Slot to the right side. Burks wide out to the left. 4th down and 21 in Bloomsburg territory. Hill takes the snap, has some time. Now he's being hit and dropped back at the 45-yard line. Gary Fittery again. You can credit that sack with the Bloomsburg secondary because Hill had time initially, but nowhere to go with it. Good defensive series for Bloomsburg after the Tartars had gotten into Bloomsburg territory. The Huskies take over 1st and 10 at their own 45 with 31 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and Bloomsburg leading it 31-7.
We had been documenting the quest of Irv Ziegler for a 100-yard game. He's at 136. Jimmy Hill may be on the quest for a 100-yard game on the negative side. Minus 56 yards rushing, 6 sacks by the Huskies.
1st and 10 for Bloomsburg at their own 45. Brett Kozlowski is the lone running back. He gets the call. He's going to try the left side, and he's hit and dropped. Well, Wayne State has made some adjustments at halftime because they have really been much tougher against the run in this second half.
Night and day type of difference, Jim, like 2 different teams. The Huskies were just pushing them around. We've seen some great running, some great decisions. Seems the attitude is still there for the Huskies. They want to make it happen, but the lanes just aren't there to run. Defense is bunching up, filling the holes very quickly.
And that will be at the end of the 3rd quarter play with the score. Bloomsburg University 31 and Wayne State 7. Second down at their own 45. McNamee rolling right, looking long downfield. Lelko got tripped up. The pass goes beyond his reach, and Tony Hawk cannot make the interception. Lelko just got his feet tangled up with the defender and went down, and thus the pass sailed over his head.
Yeah, it seemed like he was going to be able to get deep, but he lost his balance, and the only one there then is Hawk in the secondary, who makes a diving attempt. Ball thrown a little too deep, and nothing can happen. Huskies not very aggressive on that passing look, though. It seems they're setting up for pass. Even the backs are setting up. McNamee has to go a little bit deeper to get behind his backs. We're going to see an illegal block called against it, and that will be accepted for field position. So things just not very sharp on that play.
Second down and 25 for the Huskies, back at their 29-yard line. Just starting the fourth quarter. Bloomsburg leading it by a score of 31-7. Slot to the left side. Fred Kozlowski is the lone running back. McNamee gives on a draw to Kozlowski. There's some running room over the 35 to the 40 to the 45 and out to the 47, close to the 48-yard line. Fred Kozlowski doing a nice job. Rodney Simmons and Jim Filipiak make the stop.
Strong run. We mentioned the draw play will be more effective. For all of Mike Johnson's strengths last year, he was not very good at that particular play. Irv Ziegler could run it well, and here we see also that his backfield mate, Fred Kozlowski, has the talent to run it. Yet another very effective draw called. So nice opening.
18 yards on that carry. Third down and 7 now for Bloomsburg. McNamee gives on a draw once again to Kozlowski. This time they read it well, and he'll get just about back to the line of scrimmage. Ken Johnson doing a nice job from his linebacker position. She is anticipating the punt by McCaffrey, who's standing back at his 31-yard line. Adam Wrights with a good snap. McCaffrey's kick is away, and it's a beauty. High and deep, and Galovich will let it go, and it goes into the end zone. So 53 yards on the punt by McCaffrey, and Wayne State will put it in play, first and 10 at their own 20 with 13 minutes and 26 seconds to go in this football game, and Bloomsburg leading by a score of 31-7.
Very strong punt, no opportunity for the return when you can put it into the end zone, and very, very high. So even if that man drifted and decided to catch it, coverage would be down upon him.
Wayne State with the ball. Reminder, Bloomsburg with an open week next week. They'll be preparing for the September 14th night game at Indiana, PA. Real challenge for the Huskies to take on that traditional Western Division power, the PSAC. As Jimmy Hill gives straight ahead and not much doing. Bloomsburg defense is going to be tough to run against. Earl Reese got the call that time. Picked up maybe a yard. Josh Klein making the stop. Senior, we're going to see some offense out of him. We've seen him as the tight end on goal line situations. But he's a terrific defensive end on the defensive side. As Jimmy Hill, play action, back to throw, fires over the middle, tipped incomplete, intended for the tight end, and a nice defensive play by linebacker Jay Brook. Got a hand on the ball and knocked it away. 9, Wayne State with the football at their own 21-yard line. They'll send John Roberts wide right, Chris George in the slot to that side, and Al Burke to this left side, and they're operating from shotgun. Bloomsburg showing blitz, then they back off, and all that, I believe, took too much time.
I believe flag is thrown, whistle is blown by the field judge. He's the man who watches the clock. So a difficult 3rd and 9 becomes a 3rd and 14. Passing situation, maybe even the same play if they haven't tipped their hand.
Big first half carrying the football as Wayne State facing a 3rd and long. John Zalos in there at a cornerback position defensively for the Huskies now. As Hill takes the snap, steps up into it, fires to the far side of the field, incomplete. Derek Lynch on the coverage, the pass intended for John Roberts. So 4th down, and Dean Batchelor, a freshman out of Northville, Michigan, very busy this afternoon punting the football. Will do it again, and Sean Smith deep for the Huskies.
Dangerous. Very good returner, that tremendous speed, what we've mentioned, and they're in a position where they really must protect their punter rather than trying to get down to cover him.
Sean, among the nation's leaders in both punt and kick returns a year ago. Batchelor standing back at his 2-yard line. The snap is a good one. The freshman gets the kick away. Very, very high and short, and Steve Foster, the up man, will fair catch at the State 48-yard line.
He's good at that. It's difficult for the up man to make that fair catch. He wants to be sort of the immediate protection for Sean. That's his main job. But when the punt comes up short, you don't want to let it bounce and lose yardage on the bounce. So the up man has to make a decision and field that. Plus, he's in traffic. People are already down to make the tackle. He's allowed to make the fair catch. They must clear out of the way, but it's often difficult with those distractions. Very sure-handed.
Huskies with the ball at the Tartar 48. 12:27 to go in the game. Bloomsburg leading at 31-7. Rolliman, the tight end on the right side. Ziegler gets the call, tries that side, but he's hit and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Good defensive work by Marty Wayman, a junior from Harper Woods, Michigan.
Already into the backfield. They've crossed the line of scrimmage and are awaiting the play there. Seems the Huskies might be fatiguing a little bit as well.
Second down and 13 for Bloomsburg at their own 49. McNamee back to throw. Here comes the pass rush. He's sacked again back at the 42-yard line. Loss of 7. The third down and 20.
This whole second half really hasn't had much offensive consistency. They don't seem to have the same intensity level that they started the game with. Perhaps the score, the separation, perhaps the heat. Hard to say. You get your quarterback hurt if you don't play with more intensity than that.
Slot to the right side. McNamee takes the snap, back to throw. Inside screen to Sean Smith as flags fly. Smith has it at the 45 to midfield. Breaks to the outside to the 40, the 35, the 30, and ridden out of bounds across the way. There's a flag down on the play. It was an ugly-looking start to the play. It looked like the whole offense wasn't ready. McNamee did take the snap, got the play away, and would have been a long, long game for Sean Smith, but it's going to come back.
It will come back. The entire team needs to be set. McNamee wasn't really set to take the snap. You tell the center, you tell everyone to snap count, you might say first sound, and sometimes you just forget a little bit and you automatically go up there and go to set the team. But that snap's coming. He's thinking ahead, he's thinking of audibles, he's scanning the field, he calls to set, the ball snapped, half the team's off, some of the team's not even in the set position.
At their own 37-yard line, Sean Gallagher, a freshman wide receiver from Dunmore High School, is in the ballgame as McNamee gives on the draw play to Kozlowski. Has some running room over the 45 to midfield and gets into Wayne State territory. Well short of the first down. Dan Galovich makes the stop.
If you try for that flag, the chains at the end, try to get that first down too aggressively, chances are there's going to be an interception. The draw is a safe call. It gains you another 15 or so yards in field position. A little safer for the punter in Wayne State indeed.
14 yards on the carry by Brett Kozlowski. Fourth down and 11 Huskies at the Wayne State 49-yard line. And Jim McCaffrey into punt. Snap is a good one, and he booms the kick. Let it bounce at the 5. Jay Zaransky tries to make the save, cannot do it. And so Wayne State will put it in play at their own 20-yard line with their own 20. Jimmy Hill, the transfer from the University of Toledo, is the quarterback. Play action. Now he's back to throw, and he's looking long to John Roberts, and there'll be an interference call against the Huskies. Pass goes incomplete, but Ben Hennikel interfered with John Roberts, put both arms up, afraid that he was getting beat on the play. Ball pretty well thrown by Hill. It'll be a first down for Wayne State.
It was thrown far, but still underthrown. The receiver had to slow down. If he was able to catch that in stride, he probably would have taken it in stride for the touchdown. He had the secondary beat. So as he eases up, the secondary gets into position, but then the hands up in the face and some contact creates the interference call. So it'll be 15 yards from the original line of scrimmage and a first down.
It's a week from next Saturday. It'll be a night game, 7 o'clock kickoff. Important game for the Huskies, who have those postseason hopes. Jimmy Hill takes the snap, starts right, trying to option it. He'll lose yardage. Jason Grimm across there in a hurry. Makes the good defensive play for Bloomsburg.
Strong up front, even with the finesse of the option, with the different reads that you must make. The linebackers and the defensive line are able to sort of take the people on blocking them, read the play well, and collapse upon those people with the ball. Tough to play option. Danny Hale mentioned how difficult it is. You really can't practice it against yourself. You don't have the same personnel and speed to run it against yourself. So it's difficult to work in practice.
Second down and 11 for the Tartars. They're 34 from shotgun, flags and whistles before this play could get started.
Thrown dead by the line judge, so something before the snap. Huskies seem to be indicating it's against the Tartars, most likely a 5-yard penalty coming up. Going back to that option, Jim, the point is you don't run option yourself, so to give your defense the look, you just can't do it. You don't have the skilled people, the finesse, the speed, the tempo to give a realistic look of option. So it's something you have to sort of do on the chalkboard, make assignments, practice the best you can, and then adjust during the game, and the Huskies have done admirably.
Second down and 16 now for the Tartars. Again, Jimmy Hill operating from shotgun. Takes the snap, back to throw, looking to the far sideline, and it's incomplete. Intended for John Roberts. Good defensive work by John Zalos, who's in at a cornerback position for the Huskies. Zalos is a sophomore out of Kennedy Kenrick High School in Plymouth Meeting, PA. 5'8", 167-pounder. Played that one well. And now it's going to be a third down and 16. The tight end on the left side. Chris George is wide to that side. Here's a third and 16 call, and now they abandon the shotgun, and Hill over center takes the snap, drops back to throw. Here comes the pass rush, trying to get away. He cannot. Josh Klein eventually wraps him up for the sack. Gary Fittery was the first one there. And so fourth down and a punting situation.
I've counted 8 sacks now, and I have Jimmy Hill at minus 63 yards. And they're not doing a whole lot of blitzing, Jim. Just the front four coming in, overpowering the blockers and making the play.
Dean Batchelor has had a lot of time today punting the football. Back at his 8-yard line. Gets this one away. High but short once again, and Steve Foster with the fair catch at the Bloomsburg 47. 5 to go and good field position at their 47 as McNamee gives the ball to Ziegler. Ziegler trying to get outside left, turns the corner, is ridden out of bounds, but not before he gets to the Wayne State 45-yard line.
Coach Bill Hart, in an unguarded moment, mentioned that this team could perhaps supersede what last year's record-setting team had done. Tried to take the comment back to us. But the point is, they have more big play potential on this team. Herb Ziegler is more capable of getting the big play touchdown. Sean Smith will be used more often for the big play touchdown. And you can score quicker with those long touchdowns, and they can get more points overall.
2nd and 4 from the Wayne State 46. I formation. John Johnson is the fullback. The call goes to tailback Herb Ziegler. Off the right side, breaks a tackle, cuts it outside. Breaks another tackle to the 35, to the 30, to the 20. Great cutback at the 15, to the 10, the 5, and he's in for a Bloomsburg touchdown. Terrific effort by Herb Ziegler. 46 yards for the score.
The type of touchdown he should not be able to make, Jim. He had to break or elude 8 or 9 different tacklers in the course of that play. We mentioned the big play potential. Anytime he touches the ball, he can go all the way. On cue, he takes it on an innocuous-looking sweep. 3 members of the defense converging on him. He's able to elude them, cut against the grain, elude 3 or 4 more. Great individual talent.
Jim Haynes will be on to attempt the extra point. He shared those duties with Tom Book this afternoon. He's 1 for 1. And the kick is up, and he's 2 for 2. Haynes drills it through. Time out of the field. 8:20 to go in the football game. At the score, Bloomsburg 38 and Wayne State 7. Will be afternoon from Redmond Stadium. Dave will be by as the host of the scoreboard show. Updates on all the college football results from this afternoon. Right here, Bloomsburg overpowering Wayne State from Detroit, Michigan, 38-7. The last score, a thing of beauty. 46 yards by Herb Ziegler on a play that looked like it might gain 2, but he has those capabilities. And the Huskies with the big lead. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game.
think we'll see a lot of reserves from this point on. Jim, I see that Kevin Veslusky is warming up here on the sideline. We've been seeing a lot of substitutes throughout. I think we'll see more now.
As John Emp's kick comes up short, Roberts up the middle at the 12-yard line to the 20 and spins down at the 27-yard line. As Ben Hennikel down on the kick team to make the play for the Huskies. So Wayne State gets the ball, 1st and 10 at their 27-yard line. Bloomsburg, of course, with a big game coming up in a couple of weeks. Indiana is not ranked in the top 20, but keep in mind that is a preseason poll. The Indians usually end up in that top 20. They did lose heavily through graduation, but they always have talent. That'll be an important game for the Huskies and their postseason hopes. They travel to Indiana. It's a night game, September the 14th. Jimmy Hill takes the snap, rolls right, fires downfield, incomplete. Good coverage and a good pass rush. Derek Lynch on the coverage for the Huskies. 2nd down and 10, Wayne State at their own 27. Down and 10, Wayne State at the 27-yard line, their own territory. Earl Reese now is the lone running back behind quarterback Jimmy Hill, who has a slot to the right side. And Reese gets the call on the delay and gets up to about the 34-yard line. John Imp in there at a linebacker position now for the Huskies. Makes the tackle. Gain of 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Good size in John Imp. 6 foot, 239 pounds, a sophomore out of Troy. He's in the middle where Frank Babula would normally play. Very solid backup. Very physical individual inside.
Clock running, 7:35 remaining in the football game. Backs in an open set. 3rd down and 3 call. Hill off play action, back to throw. Fires over the middle, and let's see if it's an interception. Coming up with the football for the Huskies is Jay Zaransky. Zaransky and Derek Hill both went to the turf, trying to pick it off, and it was Zaransky who got it at midfield.
Yeah, 2 Huskies, the corner, Lynch as well as Zaransky, fighting between themselves for the ball. Dual possession. In either case, the Huskies get it. Zaransky wrestles it away from his secondary mate, Lynch, and he comes away with the interception. Huskies with the ball at midfield, and we do see a quarterback change in there.
Yep, Kevin Veslusky. Pete Braddock is the fullback. Eddie Crothers is the running back. He gets the call off the right side, gets down to the 44-yard line, picks up 6. Tom Homerick makes the stop for Wayne State. But the tailback now is Eddie Crothers. He's a sophomore out of Carlisle High School, 5'11", 195-pounder. And he picked up 6 on his first carry. 2nd down and 4, Bloomsburg.
Seeing some changes in the offensive line as well. Mark Paceni coming out, getting a rest on the bench. So a lot of fresh troops.
Slot to the left side. I formation. Crothers gets the call again. Trying to left side. Breaks 1 tackle. Makes a good effort. Gets close to the sticks before he's brought down. So the sophomore from Carlisle getting some running time. And Rashid Braddock, a sophomore at a Frankfurt High School in Philadelphia, is the fullback ahead of him.
Players.
3rd down and 1 for the Huskies. Crothers again looking for the 1st down yardage. 2nd and 3rd effort. He's going to be very, very close. He's driven back Ken Johnson. I'll say this for Wayne State. They've played hard all afternoon, and that defense has played better in the second half than they did in the first. Still hitting hard. Crothers, though, looks like he has the 1st down just inside the 40-yard line. Husky is the quarterback for the Huskies. Tom Dominic is expected to be the backup. Redshirt freshman from Downingtown, but he's ill, not in uniform today, as the call goes to Rashid Braddock. Braddock with a good effort inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Picks up 12 yards and a 1st down before Nick Burgess and Todd Burgess combine on the stop.
Very
10. The 28-yard line. Braddock again with the carry. Spins inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Picks up 9 there. It'll be a 2nd down and 1 for the Huskies. Nick Burgess, the strong safety, makes the stop for the Tartars as the clock winds down. Under 5 minutes remaining in this ball game. Bloomsburg leading it by a score of 38-7. As Sean Gallagher, freshman wide receiver from Dunmore, splits wide to the right side. Call goes to tailback Crothers off the right. Has some running room. Gets inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. So the backup running backs with some help, some good surges by the offensive line. Keith Braddock, Eddie Crothers, fullback and tailback respectively, running well. 10 yards on that carry by Carruthers. First and goal at the 9. Paul Nemzik on the stop for Wayne State.
Very mechanical on the drive. The Huskies will keep it on the ground most likely, keep the clock moving. They don't really need to score if they're going to work their team.
As the give by Veslusky, straight ahead, fumble on the play, but Crothers is able to come up with it. Braddock coughed up the ball, it came back, and Eddie Crothers got it at the 9. So it'll be second down and goal. Derek Lindsey in on the play for Wayne State.
Pounding on the inside, people are anticipating this inside the 10-yard line, so linebackers coming up, a helmet goes to the ball, which pops loose. But the backfield mate watching the play sees it, and he's able to spring on it.
Kevin Veslusky is a sophomore from Kennett Square. He brings his team to the line of scrimmage, the Wayne State 9-yard line with a second and goal. Fake to Crothers. Veslusky keeps the football, rolls right, fires a pass, incomplete. Just a little bit beyond the reach of Sean Gallagher, right by the pylon.
Reach in and knock the ball away at the last second.
Third and goal, Bloomsburg at the Wayne State 9. Veslusky takes the snap, gives the ball to Crothers, opening up the middle inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchdown. Eddie Crothers in for the score.
Fine run. He showed he too has the vision. He was going to break it off, tackle on the right side, but soon he noticed a better seam inside over center. Quick veer to the inside. He finds that lane. He's hit about the 4-yard line. He's knocked off stride, but his momentum takes him on in for the score.
So Jay Zaransky started it all with the interception at midfield. The Huskies put together a scoring drive.
Now boarding him off of the field, and it looks like he's going to have a tough night, holding his right arm very stiff, so we really can't make a conjecture about a possible injury.
Tom Boop is 4 for 4 in extra points this afternoon, has kicked the field goal as well. He'll attempt this extra point out of the hold of Ron Loco. Snap is a little bit low. The placement is there. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out on the field with the score. Bloomsburg 45 and Wayne State 7. From Bloomsburg University's Redmond Stadium. Just 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go in this football game. The Huskies leading by a score of 45-7. Last score coming on a 9-yard run by backup tailback Eddie Crothers. Tom Boop, perfect in extra points, kicked it through. And now John Imp will kick off. It's John Roberts and Dan Galovich back deep for Wayne State, and it will be Roberts up the middle to the 6-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, the 30, the 35, 40, 45, and gets away from another man down that sideline, 35-20, and he will go in for the touchdown. Terrific kick return score for John Roberts.
He has speed, Jim. In fact, he had deceptive speed. There are about 3 people that should have had the angle on him to make the tackle. Now, one was the kicker, Imp, who's a 240-pounder, so he was able to sort of lose the angle on him. But then other people should have been able to run him down. They were secondary type of individuals with considerable speed, but they misjudged the speed of that return man, and when he kicked it into high gear, he just lost them. So breaks through the tacklers early, and then in open field, shifts it into high gear and earns a touchdown for his team.
Matt Fishburne will attempt the extra point for the Tartars, who have scored a defensive touchdown and now a special teams touchdown in the ballgame. Snap, placement, kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out on the field, 3:20 to go in the football game at the score. Bloomsburg 45, Wayne State 14. Will we score 45-14? But the Tartars just got on the board on a 94-yard kick return touchdown by John Roberts. Terrific effort by him down the far sideline. Roberts just 5'6", 170-pound junior out of Shelby, Michigan. And now Matt Fishburne, following his second extra point of the ball game, will kick off, and Bloomsburg anticipating the onside kick
Well, they're tipping it off. They're pointing it toward the Husky sideline, and Fishburne, the kicker, is standing right at the ball. He's going to take about 5-6 steps, but he's at an odd angle, so there's no way they're going to kick this deep unless they change everything.
So Fishburne's kicks, good effort, but Ron Loco, part of the good hands people, grabs the ball off the grass and cradles it at the Wayne State 47-yard line. So Bloomsburg will have the ball for perhaps the last time of the ball game with 3:17 remaining. Last time they had it, their backup running backs, Rashid Braddock, fullback, and Eddie Crothers, tailback, ran hard, ran well. The Huskies put together a scoring drive with Kevin Vislusky in there at the quarterback controls. It's Vislusky again from the 47-yard line. He gives off the right side, a gain of 2 to the 45-yard line.
Fullback Chris Robinson entering the game for his first carry in a Husky uniform, Jim. Straight up the gut, about 2 yards for him.
Running 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in this one. Sean Gallagher, freshman wide receiver from Dunmore, out wide to the left side. Robinson, the fullback, Crothers, the tailback, gets the call, tries that left side, turns the corner, and is ridden out of bounds as flags fly. Crothers got to about the 38-yard line.
Flag thrown near where he was thrown out of bounds, most likely a blocking infraction. Back judge coming up, talking to the referee, waiting for an indication here. Will be a hold against the Huskies, probably from the point of the tackle. It was in that area, so they'll mark it from there.
Penalty back to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for Bloomsburg at that point. Robinson, the fullback, gets the call straight ahead, gets to about the 45-yard line, picks up 3 to bring up a 3rd down and 8. In that conference, like Grand Valley State and Ferris State, always in the running. As Vislusky takes the snap, rolls right, looking to throw, fires the pass, has a completion inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. Vislusky looked good, hitting Tom Rutecki, a wide receiver out of Ben Salem. Rutecki, a junior, and they marked the ball at the 34-yard line. It's Chris Robinson ahead of Eddie Crothers in the I formation. And Crothers gets the call. Starts out right, then cuts it into the middle, gets inside the 30, down to the 28, close to the 27-yard line. 7 yards for Eddie Crothers. Marty Wayman on the stop for Wayne State.
You can see why the coaching staff likes the talents of Eddie Crothers. He showed great vision on that play. It's designed as a sweep to go over the right tight end, but he could see it was going to stack up on the outside. He broke to the inside. He picked up people coming downfield to block, got a wall of black blockers, and found a nice lane.
2nd down and 4 at the Wayne State 28. Gallagher wide to the right side. Rutecki wide left. The call goes to Crothers once again, and he works his way down to the 25-yard line, picking up 3 on the play.
And sharp cuts that we see out of Irv Ziegler, but similarities.
3rd down call. Bloomsburg will watch that clock wind down and may not have to get another play off. It'll so wind down, and Danny Hale will start on the field and look for his counterpart, Dominic Lividati, the Wayne State coach, as the ball game comes to an end. The Huskies with a successful opening to the 1996 season. The final score, Bloomsburg University 45 and Wayne State 14. We'll be back with the scoring and statistics in today's game right after this.